funds raised by candidates' campaigns need to be declared by July 15, but the top 5 have released their figures early. Now, here's where they stand in the polls as of today. And this is what they raised in the first quarter. Bernie Sanders was way out in front, and Joe Biden didn't declare anything because he hadn't said he was running for president until April 25th. And when he did, he raised $6.3 million in 24 hours. So now, here's what's happened in the second quarter. Pete Buttigieg has raised the most money, but not really moved much in the polls. Joe Biden has now officially declared and come in with $21 million, so he's pretty close to Buttigieg. Kamala Harris and Bernie Sanders are tied in the polls and both hit the same fundraising figures in both quarters. But it's worth noting that the last $2 million Harris made was in the days after the debate in which he took on Biden, and that Sanders' figures represent more of a trailing off after being way ahead in the first quarter. And it's Elizabeth Warren, who shares many of Sanders' commitments, who might be responsible. And for context, if you go way, way, way back, in Q2, Donald Trump has already raised $54 million, which would almost double if you included the RNC contribution. So whoever the Democratic candidate is, they're going to be going up against a lot of money. But in today's media landscape, what will be worth watching is not just how much money they have, but how they all choose to spend it.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.